This is going to be a nighttime read, so stay tuned as I get the cards all ready. I have some meditation music going on in the background. If you are on YouTube, of course, there's lots of different meditation channels. So I'm trying to hear what my dog's doing out there. I think she's gnawing on a bone or something. Anyway, hopefully everybody is doing well. And I guess I'm going to sit that down for now. I need to continue smoking at this moment. It's like trying to put this in the ashtray without it like flipping out. I have one of those little tip things on it so I don't burn my fingers when I'm smoking, but maybe I have to take it out here. It'll be a bit easier. Voila. Voila is French, correct? Correct here. I mostly know Espanol, so in terms of foreign languages. Anyway, just so you can see the sea behind me, there's just kind of, and like I said, it's a nighttime read, so, and really the only backlight I have on right now is the meditation stuff, so we'll just keep it a buck, right? If you are new to the channel, please consider liking the video if you are watching today, or subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the content. Reminder that this content is free, so your participation is appreciated. I had toenail surgery today, you guys. Surprise! Some messages from your crush. Yeah, here you can kind of see it. Where did it go? Yeah, maybe not. There. Yeah. So maybe there's somebody crushing on you that is wanting to send you some kind of message. What else, please? From the conversation deck, road. You may have told this person at one time to hit the road, Jack, right? Maybe they are traveling a rough road right now, and that's maybe why it's going to be a surprise, like, to hear from them. What else, please? Hello, Sun Hat. Sounds like a nice name. Are you dating anyone? Y'all, this person really, it's like inquiring minds want to know. Whew. I feel like the way this road is written here on this card, if you guys can't, yeah. This is in like a heavy red crayon, and it's like the energy that I'm getting from this in relation to the message is like, if you're on a road, if you're on a path, this person wants you to like to stop, to slow down, to like, because yeah, they're trying to interject, right? And say, hey, are you dating anybody? Like, I'm the one that's actually crushing on you. Like, forget whoever you think you're on this road with, you know? So what else, please? So I guess this is kind of a bit of a love reading tonight. I can say reckless things. I'm sorry. Yeah, maybe the reason you told this person to hit the road potentially in the past was because they kind of shot off at the mouth, and you were like, well, You know, I've been in relationships before when they were like, well, you're doing this and you're doing this. And it's like, and none of it was true. You know, it's like, I didn't even know when they thought I had time in the day to even be doing all these things. And after a while, I just said, you know what? You think what you want. You know, were those reckless things that they said? Maybe they said those things to other people too. Maybe other people believe them. I have no idea. But you know, I mean, at a certain point, you're just like, you know, people are going to say what they're going to say. They're going to believe what they want. And what can you do about it? So that may have been why there's some separation here. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, this is the MYOB, mind on your money card. You guys are like paying attention to what pays you right now and not like um, things that are going to slow you down. Okay. And this person's saying, I'm tired of dating. Here, let's see on the card there. So that may be the surprise that they want to tell you, is that, like, you know, maybe this person was like, you know, I just want to date around. I want to do this. I want to do that. And you're like, okay, well, you can do that, but you're not going to do it with me. Right? And now they're back saying, like, oh, I'm tired of dating. Well, you know, are they? Because. So let's see what else we can find out here. I'm going to go ahead and open up the romance angels and try and get some positive messages into this read tonight, along with what we've seen so far. I'll just get like 3 cards. I think will be enough for the romance angels tonight. Sometimes, you know, we don't need a lot of that. Yeah, chemistry. There is definitely some chemistry between you and this person. That's part of why it's like they're crushing on you, and you know, and maybe vice versa. You know what I mean? Because obviously you don't know unless those things are communicated somehow. Flirt, extend your lighthearted energy to others. So, yeah, I would say this kind of goes with the are you dating anyone? So, so it's like, you know, somebody could be trying to flirt with you by saying, are you dating anyone? Right? And, you know, maybe this person wants to be nice to you, right? Right, we're entering Scorpio season. Scorpio's like, and then what? Right? And that's why you guys, Scorpios are like, yeah, we got our mind on our money. You know what I mean? Like, mind the business that pays you. But, like, if you're gonna go out and be social anyway, or maybe some of your socializing is like networking, it has a little bit of a purpose. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world to flirt a little bit in a light, like it says, light-hearted energy to others. Like, you know, consider it like you're like asking almost on behalf of somebody else. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even have to make it like whatever at, you know, a social event, right? That's, you know, way less pressure than like formality of dating, right? Let your friends help you. See, this could be like a friend situation here, you guys. Ask for and accept support from others. So, I'm gonna put this under with the road one. If it has been a rough road, there might be support that's coming in towards you. What's that song? With a little help from my friends, right? All I need is my brother. Okay. So, yeah. You know, a lot of us be like, you know, oh, well, without my spouse or without so and so, I wouldn't have this and this. And it's like, yeah, but you know, where's the rest of your community at, right? Like, you need that too, don't you? Free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. Yowza. And it's like this little unicorn here, and he's in this like tiny little pen, and it's like, does a unicorn really belong in this tiny little pen? Well, no. Okay. That may be why you're kind of like minding your business and like, kind of doubling down on your, getting your funds right, and you know what I mean? Like, what's your next goal? Like, um, and that could be freeing yourself from some of these other energies, especially if they are romantic in nature, and especially for those of you who maybe have given up on this kind of notion of true love or romance here that's appearing on the bottom. This is the romance of a lifetime, it says. So, it's like you don't know unless you try, you don't know unless you meet. It's like, in the store, and it's like, I don't know on the hanger, but once you try it on, it's like, oh, I kind of get it. Or sometimes it's like, oh, that does look better on the hanger. It's like, if Marilyn Monroe couldn't make it look good, how am I gonna make it look good, you guys? You know what I'm saying? Like, I get everybody's a little different, but like, yeah, sometimes we just gotta roll with things, right? What chakra? I think they're on the throat chakra here now. It's I'm gonna show it. This one happens to be by Inner Lotus Music, and they go through all the chakras, and it's not a very bright light, and obviously you can kind of dim that on your settings on your television too, which I tend to do, especially for nighttime viewing. I don't like the super bright stuff, and I think it helps me ease into sleep and things like that. Okay, let's go ahead and open up some of this tarot here and see who maybe we are speaking about. So, happy Scorpio season, Scorpios. I have Scorpio in my chart, aspected in both of my charts, so it's an interesting notion when you first get yourself right involved with the astrology. Sorry, this is a newer deck, and oh my god, this is like almost a catastrophe of the shuffling here, but it's like slick at the same time. Hilarious, right? Okay. It is the pulp tarot, so the mystery ensues. Love guidance, 92, no contact. Is 92 supposed to be your born on date, sir or madam? So as many of you know, there's Vedic astrology. There's also Western astrology. So I'm not an astrologer, but I find it interesting to see the differences and similarities in the charts, and how I have been able to interpret it with, how I've conducted my life thus far. But I wouldn't say I prescribe to it, but I may call out some of the signage. So hopefully this reading will help provide some love guidance, if that is what you are seeking. But do use your own discernment, right? And, part of this message here, let your friends help you. Is this something you've spoken to your friends about? Or if you don't feel comfortable talking to your friends, like, can you talk to a counselor about it or something? You know what I mean? Wheel of Fortune. See, this is a card of luck, right? Also a card of Jupiter, the planet of expansion. So when you look into your chart, like, what is your Jupiter sign? And when you think about expanding upon what it means, what that signage might mean, like, how does that work into your life? How can you grow as a person? How can luck expand with this Wheel of Fortune, right? People look at the pie and it's like, oh, well, we have limited amount. Well, no, it's like you can grow outward as well, right? Jupiter in 2 hours. And there's some fabulous astronomer folks out there that know all those fun placements and stuff. So I'm kind of like a casual stargazer, but I did go to a stargazing event out in Arizona once, and it was very nice because it was out like at a field, and the guide had brought this large scope for us to look through, and we were able to see like three of Jupiter's moons at that time. But it was like you could like literally see the Milky Way sitting out there, and it was quite cold too. Like it's that desert weather. But the guide was all self-taught from the library because I started asking questions. I was like, how do you, I was like, you are very knowledgeable. Like, how do you know so much? And then they started explaining, how they were self-taught out of the library. So it was quite fascinating that they were able to share kind of such a magical experience and what was also very educational at the same time. So I would definitely recommend it. And then when you think about, your chart and it's like, okay, yeah, how are we, um, you know, contributing our best selves, right? That's kind of, I think, why we tap into the tarot and astrology in the first place, right? Because we're thinking like, well, and I mean, a lot of people use religion as well, but that's, health and fitness is also a way to better yourself. And that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a different kind of practice. The way as some of this stuff is kind of a different way to practice. So, second house. Yeah, see, I don't know like all the different like the houses and stuff. I know Houses of the Holy by Led Zeppelin. Wands. How many here? I think this is that ghastly Five of Wands. Yeah, where everybody's like in competition. So there could be some competition for like which direction your luck's gonna turn. Um, so like, yeah, if this person, so one of these messages from your crush could be, hey, I hope that you're, coming around to see me sometime, right? And grow with me sometime. But right now, it looks like there's more of a, some obstacles here of, multiple people. So that could be part of this road. But again, and and I hate to say this about like this let your friends help you card, but like, your friends may be good, well intended, but they may not offer always the best advice. That's why I would say sometimes it's nice to get an independent opinion, even from like if you're somebody who likes to talk to a pastor about stuff, like don't go to the pastor at your church, like go to like a random church or something, be like, hey, do you have counseling appointments? You know what I'm saying? And then, it's kind of, you get, I would say more of an independent perspective, right? So there could just be a lot of conflicting energy right now. And also with this flirtation card here, it's kind of like, oh wow, and here's the Sun card. Yeah, so there's definitely some attractiveness happening between you and others. Your crush may be seeing that, and that's why they may be wanting to come forward. Okay. They said, please check my, I'm not sure how to pronounce M's name there, feelings for me. Yeah, sometimes it's like we still feel those feelings even if we are in no contact situations, right? And it's kind of like, are they dating anybody, right? You're not sure. So that may be why you need to be open to flirtation. And perhaps that's going to be leading to flirtation with that person. We don't really know, right? But if you step in here, like with the Sun card, I think that's going to help, guide you with the best of intentions, as this Wheel of Fortune wants us to do. Let's see what else we have here. The Two of Wands. Wow. So I feel like a little bit with this, how this person may have been reckless with things they've said in the past, or they felt like you were communicating something, you know what I mean? Like, and maybe that's, so that could be, part of the no contact, right? It's like, well, they said this or they said that, right? So it's kind of in, gets left in that Two of Wands space where it's like, well, I could do this, I could do that, but I don't really have to do anything at the moment. And for some people, that may feel a stagnancy, and for others, that's just kind of like taking a pause until the next day. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, with the Judgment card here, somebody could really want to, I would say, almost force a judgment, but definitely the divine timing, I think, is best to let things play out. Like, you know, like if somebody doesn't respond to, you messaging them, what are you going to do? Right? Like at a certain point, it's like, well, maybe that's not the best grounding energy to be in, right? And this lighthearted energy to others, I feel like this is what's going to bring in your true love. It's not all this like entanglement stuff. You know what I mean? So if whoever it is that you're in separation with, if it always feels like it's just like a drama or something, like I don't think that that's necessarily how you're going to end up. Hang on, you guys. I dropped this card here. I'm just getting, if you stay in this lighthearted, and I'm not saying it couldn't work. I'm just saying that being in this lighthearted energy, what the reading's telling me here is that's how I think you're gonna best, yeah. And it's funny too, because it's like, okay, a unicorn is like a fantasy animal, but it says free yourself here. And it's like almost like somebody wanted to say, like, oh, you're this like special little something, and I have to put this little gate around you, and nobody else can see you or hear you. Like, this could have been something too, like, where you felt isolated, okay? There was a relationship that I was in, and like, when I was out with this person, like they didn't like properly introduce me to family members. They did not, include me in conversations with friends, like when we were out, like in public. It was just kind of weird. You know what I mean? It always felt like they were doing some shady stuff, which it turned out they were. But, and part of that was like them isolating me. You know what I mean? Too. So, here, especially you guys that are focusing on your finances, I feel like that is what has been freeing yourself from this kind of like cage, okay? So if there has been a separation. So that's kind of in part response to that no contact in the chat, okay? So how I would like, that would be my recommendation how to proceed, right? Like freeing not only freeing yourself, but freeing that other person from those expectations, because what we're meant to do is stay more in this lighthearted energy, right? Inner temple devotion, tune in to the portal of your heart. And then there's like two figures on each side of this. It's like, I feel like for some of you, part of the reason that there's this kind of like messages that haven't come through from your crush, or maybe if you're crushing on somebody else, is because there's some kind of imbalance here. And it's because you haven't been able to express it. So, for some of you, a healthy outlet could be like, doing something artistic, right? Like experimenting with different types of art, like painting or poetry or short stories, getting that kind of stimulation happening, I think is going to start feeding you, and then you are going to get on the road you need to be with the help, like with a little help from your friends. It's that song, so that's the Joe Cocker. All I need is my brother. Okay, so okay, let's keep going here. Turn the Lights Back On is the newer Billy Joel, in case you were wondering. Akasha, your guidance is divinely guided. Yeah, what did I say a little bit earlier about divine timing? I don't like to throw out, I was kind of stumbling over that divine timing, and because I don't like to throw that out all the time, but you also have the Two of Wands here, which means you're not rushing into a decision. And that's kind of the outcome, is that if you've been feeling the pressure, that the outcome is that you don't need to be forced to make a decision at that, what I mean, like before you're ready, okay? Because you're going to be kind of properly guided, okay? And part of that's once this balance has been achieved, right? And then you're going to be on the same road, or running into the same folks on the road that you need to be on, that's going to help you again still, you know keep that money in your pocket so you can keep feeding yourself and keep paying your bills, and you know what I mean, until you're old and gray, and then one day you don't have to worry about all that, and then we are stardust, right? Okay. And hopefully you made some friends along the way, right? Got to get ourselves back to the garden. Boundaries. This came up in the reading the other day. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? So this Five of Wands here, this could be part of you in this dating situation where you're like, look, I don't mind flirting, I don't mind whatever, but I'm like not gonna date 15 people at the same time. I'm just not gonna do it. Some people are like, I only want to date one person at a time, and they want to just like be in a relationship or not. I mean, people have different styles, right? So I feel like, especially for this, whoever this relationship is, right? Again, if you're being forced, you know what I mean? You still hold the power here with this Two of Wands. It's just kind of what I'm saying. So part of, it's like there's how many hands here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, this is almost over 10. Like, what did I say? 15. Yeah, and then you have 5. So this is like multiples. There's like, yeah, it's like when you have too many irons in the fire and then nothing ends up getting done, right? Do you have any channel message from a specific person? Sometimes I do get some very specific channelings and I don't know who it's for. So if you're tuning in today, and if I say something that's just kind of random that, for some reason connects with you, that may be your message. Say if a certain name comes up in the reading, or a certain number sequence or something like that. Okay, so I would keep that in mind when you're watching readings in general. But then, think about what that sign potentially means to you. Think about, have you had any dreams lately that have that same repeating message? Okay. Often the messages that we need to actually pay attention to are the ones that are repetitive, right? Like, yes, you may hear this random thing, that random thing, but if something keeps coming back to you, then it's like, oh, well, maybe I need to address this, right? Imrama, what are you being called to journey to? Yeah, so you may be getting this message now that, like, you want maybe more fulfillment in your life. Okay, so like this person who is saying reckless things, I'm sorry, and you're just like, okay, that's great, but I'm freeing myself from that. I want I want something, but I'm not sure what exactly. That's the time to start asking. Okay, and it's kind of like you can sit here and ask and gaze into your crystal ball, and some people are like, well, what do you mean gaze into your crystal ball? Well, you know what? I don't know, with that reflective surface there, maybe all of a sudden a little taxi cab's gonna appear behind you, and then you're like, oh, I guess I remember I need to go somewhere today. Do you know what I mean? Like, things can just happen, right? In an instant. It doesn't have to be overly complicated. Um, but like when you're focusing, allow those messages actually to come in. Okay. Yeah, birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. Yeah, I feel like you guys are making healthier choices. And that's part of why you're like getting away from this Five of Wands busyness and boundaries, but it's like you're still open to like the idea of love, the idea of flirtation, right? You're wanting to expand on that. But at the same time, you're like, that doesn't mean I want to go broke doing it. So yeah, maybe you're like, I don't want to, you know, um, invest in this, and this just so I can say we went out once. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. And not only money, like, that's your time as well, right? Like, how much time do you spend on the dating apps? Like, and then what do you actually get out of it? Right? Or like, do you need to invest more in like community activities? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. I'm gonna go ahead and snag this Lover's Oracle here. Get a few more messages. We're over 30 minutes, so we'll see what this has to say about the situation. The Sun card here is also very representative of Leo. If you are, it's for everybody, but Leo especially is kind of that magnanimous, you know what I mean? Like if you think, and like you think you like the lion's mane, you know what I mean? That looks like kind of like the sun. Here it's like somebody's on like a toy horse, you know what I mean? Having the time of their life. Like, the Sun card's, reflective of that inner spirit, right? That, will live on forever, okay, type thing. I am blocked. This person could be blocked energetically. Maybe you block their phone number, social media. I'm not sure. So that could be this person who's crushing on you as well, that's saying like they would communicate with you, but they don't know how right now because they're blocked. So if you block them or not, or, I don't know. So obviously only you would know that. And I'll say this too, like, for those of you that do kind of like, I would say more communicate with the spirit world and, your ancestors and things like that. You can block those energies too. Like, those, even though that's kind of, for some people, that's, your guidance or whatever, they don't have a right to control, okay, anything. So just so you know that. I don't want to be who I used to be. You deserve better. Yeah, so like I was saying earlier about, you guys are choosing better. So it's like, yeah, you feel like you're getting on the right road, you're open to dating, you're still watching your money. Um so I feel like you're in part saying this too, that you don't want to um I just think that some people in the collective, what they're starting to see is um good karma playing out, right? It's like it's not, oh, just bad karma, right? And that's part of scorpionic transformation as well. It's like just because something used to happen doesn't mean it's going to continue to happen. And like one day it's like you're gonna wake up and like actually enjoy, you know what I mean, and like not be in that zone of healing is a very sometimes rough road as well. So this is really relevant today, you guys, this road here thing. There's also like some road movies, like, well, like, Mad Max is a road movie. But which I love the Mad Max franchise. Anyway, there's other like you know what I mean? Where you kind of learn lessons on the road, right? But and this is saying you deserve better. So I feel like for a lot of you, it's not maybe even this person, but it's like you're telling yourself that you deserve better situations, right? Like it doesn't matter if it was this person or that person. Like you're still not choosing that situation, right? Just because it's, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, like, did your mother ever tell you, like, well, if your friends jump off a bridge, are you going to do it too? You know what I mean? Like, just because your friends are doing it, like, just because this person wanted you to maybe be in a situation, right? And that could have been involving saying reckless things, okay, about you, about your behavior, about alleged behavior, whatever it is, right? Yeah, you could be like, you know what, I deserve better than to be, somebody to say that I'm this and that when I know that I am doing good things, or you know what I mean? Like some people, they just want to hate on achievers, right? And that's kind of um one of those things in the collective, right? But that's part of why like this Five of Wands is here, because there's some of that competition, and that's why this boundaries card came out as well. So um not only from your ancestors, but like your current ancestors, right? Like you don't have to always be involved in this and that and the other, just to care about somebody, right? That's not necessarily the prerequisite, okay? So I feel like you're understanding that level of self-love here, okay? Um, and then I think this, whoever, if this crush person could see that, like, if they were reckless in the past, that, yeah, you don't deserve to be treated like whatever they were treating you like. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not, and, and on the flip side, like, if then they were, treating you that way, I mean, were they not maybe treating somebody else that way? Like, and why? It's like, did they really deserve to be treated that way either? Like, you know what I mean? Like, isn't everybody trying, you know what I mean? Isn't everybody trying to do better each day? I don't know. It is all too much. Yeah. So I feel like for some of you, you may have given up on trying to make things work with, you know, this whatever, and you're definitely tapping more into like your purpose now, and it's kind of like, okay, so if I get on my purpose, like, are things going to be good? And the answer is yes, right? And part of that answer too is then you're going to be, I would say, more networking with the people that need to be in your life at the moment. That doesn't mean other people. So it's like that again, that those pieces of the pie, it's not like you take one out and put another one in. It's just keeps expanding. Okay. It's like that onion layer. Okay. Um, and the more that it's in the ground, it's going to grow, right? But at a certain point, you got to pull it out, right? And then it's like, then we're going to start opening up. And it's like, okay, now we're going to say, now how can we be lighthearted towards somebody? And also maybe we'll peel a little piece of that onion back and, you know what I mean, start exploring things, right? Kind of with this sun energy. So for somebody, your liveliness could be very much too much for what they are ready for at the moment, or vice versa, right? I don't know who I am anymore from the Lovers Oracle. Yeah. So this person or you collective could still be asking that question about your purpose, right? Like, and not saying like you don't feel good about yourself, but just feeling like, well, maybe there's something else you might be getting called to do, okay? And, a lot of people go through that, okay? Especially if you're on a spiritual journey, okay? My life is a mess right now. Yes, definitely. If you are on a spiritual journey, a lot of times that thing feels messy, but also that gives you the opportunity to get that fortune going your way, right? Like, have you ever seen that Plinko game on The Price is Right? It's like it goes this way and then it goes that way and then I mean, it's never just a straight down necessarily to get to the 5,000 or how much ever. It's sometimes it's kind of stressful. Okay. I don't want to be alone. Yeah, this could be part of the message that this person wants to communicate is that, like, even though you may be in separation right now, or like for some reason you two are not in communication, that doesn't mean that they're not thinking about you and that, at some point they want to get together. Oh my goodness, that was a mouthful. I'm just going to get a couple more from the big board. My big cards that I have. So please do like the video or subscribe to the channel. Go home. Interesting. So it's the season, it's coming up on the season for like the Wizard of Oz and stuff in the next few weeks. Usually comes on TV. There's also like E.T. Phone Home. Yeah, I feel like whatever road you're on, it's gonna lead you back home in a way. This could also be encouraging you to like spend time with family, okay? Especially if you feel like your life is a mess. Sometimes if you just like get around like your family members, you're like, you know what, maybe I'm not as abnormal as I think. Maybe it's just kind of, I mean, you turn on the TV these days, what do you see? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. River. Your home could be near a river. Your home could be near some water. You could be wanting to do some fishing in a river, somebody. I don't know why fishing came out again. No winner. You might not catch anything. No winner. Winner, chicken dinner, right? Yeah, I feel like for some of you, you could feel like there's no winner in the situation. Like, it could be like one of those things where, yeah, so instead of like love here, it's like you just fight, you know what I mean? And it's like you could be saying, yeah, that you don't want to be in a fighting situation. You want to be in a loving situation, right? Okay. I think that's all I have for you guys today. get one quick clarification with this other deck. Because it is my Rider-Waite, and it was kind of popping yesterday, so we'll see what it clarifies today here with these other cards. Bruce Springsteen, that Bruce Springsteen song, The River, may be relevant to somebody as well. It's like, back to the river, back to the river I run, something like that. Yeah, Ace of Cups just wanted to pop out. Like, somebody definitely, or like, you're like in receiver mode, especially with this river here. So like there could be a lot of emotion pouring out in you right now, or wanting that emotion to pour out towards somebody. 6 of Pentacles. So this person, especially if they're blocked from you right now, may be feeling like they have to like beg for your attention in some way. If they are blocked, I don't know. You know what I mean? That's only you know that. But I feel like if they weren't, like there would be a balance. Maybe that you have to discuss, right? Seven of Cups. Yeah, there's just a lot of options out there right now. A lot of people, you know, pulling in this direction, that direction. I mean, and if you think about how does a river go? Again, it's like that Plinko board, right? It goes this way and then it goes that way. And, you know, and sometimes you bump into these situations and it's like you have to make a decision. So I feel like right now somebody could be like, look, well, I had to do this and I had to do that. Yeah. 2 of Cups. Wow. This person sees you as their sunshine. Okay. You know that song? You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when the skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. King of Swords. Please don't take my sunshine away. And then there was the 10 of Wands here. So yeah, this like, you're definitely not wanting to be pressured into decisions, okay? Because anytime you do, you feel like you have more burdens here with this 10 of Wands. This, and then it leads into this, I don't know who I am anymore. Because it's like, why am I carrying this? Why am I carrying this? Why am I carrying this, right? And it's like, you know, I thought I was happy. I thought I was, do you know what I'm saying? But it's like, but you know, it's like, you know, when you're at work sometimes, right? You get done with one project and they give you another one, right? And then if you get done with that one, you get another one, right? And it's like, but sometimes it's like you're rewarded with more work versus reward, right? And that's where this 10 of Wands is coming up, and you're just like, well, and again, this came out in the reading the other day where it's like, just because you can doesn't mean you should, right? Like, yeah, I can tie my shoes. That doesn't mean I want to tie every kid's shoes in the neighborhood every single day for the rest of my life. Like, I think I could thrive doing something else possibly. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe that's why they invented those zips in the 80s. I had some zips. Zips, and then the other popular brand of similar to those at the time for kids, I think, was the Kangaroos. But I had the zips, and mine were purple. I loved those shoes. Anyway, I may have picked them out. You know what I mean? I'm not even sure, like, if they came out of the catalog or where we got them. King of Swords, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. You or this person could have a lot of air in your chart. You could be a divine masculine who is a king of swords type thing, and you're like, look, especially the person who was talking about no contact, where you're like, actually, I do want to communicate, right? you know, um, King of Swords is known to be like the silent, one or whatever, but that doesn't mean they are incapable of communication. In fact, they are the king of communication. Okay. So that could be one of your strong points here. So think about that here with the Sun card and the Two of Cups. Um, I would say remain hopeful there, okay? Because as long as you're tapping into your kind of playful energy source, I think it's going to turn out in a positive way, okay? But don't be afraid of the twists and turns either, like with this River card, where somebody's like, oh, it's all too much. I mean, it's like, well, buy the ticket, take the ride, right? Like, you do have choices in life, right? Some people don't want to go on the merry-go-round because it makes them sick, okay? So don't do it, right? But maybe find a different hobby that doesn't make you sick. So, we all have choices. Some of these boundaries here, I feel like that you guys are putting down, some of that could be like, well, maybe I just don't want to spend my money on this right now. I'm saving for that instead, and then maybe at the end of 6 months, you'll find out you have enough money to, you know, get yourself a nice weekend in Florida or something. You know what I'm saying? Or wherever the heck it is that you go on vacation. All right. Um, maybe you go there and you're like, hey, there's some jobs here. Maybe I'll just move here. You know what I'm saying? Like, anything can happen. But keeping yourself in that positive mindset, I think, is how you actually are going to be the winner in this situation, especially if that 10 of Wands make you feel like there's no winner, okay? And and especially if it's like you feel like you're singled out all the time, then yeah, it is like kind of like there's no winner, because it's like you can't keep carrying that load alone here with this 10 of Wands. You can't keep doing it, right? It'll break you. And I think you've recognized that. And I think you've already shifted gears. Okay. So if you feel like your life is a mess right now due to that, like, we all have to go through a cocooning stage, right? So that could be part of why you might be blocked too, specifically if it is like an energetic block, and I would say an energetic block manifests in the way of like, maybe you go about your business, but you never run into so and so because you're not energetically aligned. And so that is like a sign. And especially if you're still taking care of, like, are you feeding yourself well? Are you making your doctor's appointments? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're doing all these things that, you're kind of supposed to do to take care of yourself as a human being, then, don't worry about what cup it is that you think you're missing or not missing, or you know what I mean? Like, because obviously you are doing something right. Okay. Um, so again, it's not like taking somebody out and putting somebody in. It's just kind of like expanding. Okay. Um, and like, yeah. Yeah. For some of you, it's kind of like, welcome to the master class, right? Some of us, it's like, oh, I guess I'm the grown up in the situation. And for some of us, we had to be, grown up as younger too. So it's like we thought maybe we wouldn't have to do that as much as older, but sometimes we do, because that's just the way life is. But it's like, if you don't, somebody else will. Sometimes we see how that turns out, It's like, yeah. So I feel like overall, you guys, this is a pretty positive reading. Yes, there's some competition in here. Yes, there could be some opening of communication, some flirtation that happens. But I feel like you're willing to discuss your boundaries and you're willing to free yourself from things that, like just because you proved you could do it doesn't mean you have to reprove it to anybody, right? Um, Technically, you never have to do it again, right? Um, what they say, except, pay taxes, right? Annually. You only have to die once, but annually you do have to pay taxes. At least as once you become an adult. Anyway, uh, unless you're one of the founding fathers, right? Isn't that the opening line of Dazed and Confused? They're like, 1776, a group of men didn't want to pay their taxes. That mean old King George, But, we got a little bit more land over here in America, so America, right? Um, all right, you guys, I'm getting a little slap heavy. I think I had that doctor visit this morning too today, so it's been a long enough day. But I wanted to hop on and do a quick message. So hopefully that helps somebody tonight. Until next time, please do manifest wisely. Bye bye. Thank you. Thanks for being so nice in the chat tonight, y'all.